Have you ever felt like your kindness, your good nature just gets taken for granted? Or maybe even taken advantage of? Well, today we are exploring such a powerful idea: how to pair that soft heart of yours with some strong, solid boundaries. This way, you can be genuinely, authentically kind without losing yourself in the process.
You know, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? Kindness feels like this universal good, this incredible force that can heal and just make the world a better place. But, and this is a big but, what happens when our own kindness starts to work against us? That's the paradox, the real puzzle we're going to dive into today.
Okay, so let's get right into the thick of it, the problem. As amazing as a warm heart is, it isn't always enough. In fact, if you don't protect it, that unchecked kindness can become a real liability. It absolutely needs to be balanced with a whole different kind of strength.
And this is where that subtle but oh so critical shift happens. You see, what starts out as this beautiful, genuine desire to be kind can get twisted into a fear of not being liked, a fear of not being loved, and the second fear gets in the driver's seat, well, that's when we start making compromises we really shouldn't be making. So, what does this actually look like in real life? I want you to see if any of these signs feel a little familiar. Are you maybe a bit too eager to please everyone all the time? Do you find yourself saying yes out loud when every part of you is screaming no on the inside? Or maybe you're constantly giving away your boundaries. Or worse, you're letting someone else's goals completely take over your own. You know, all of this really boils down to one incredibly powerful question. So take a second, be honest with yourself, and ask this: are you confusing being liked with being good? Because as we're about to see, those two things are definitely not the same thing at all. And that leads us to a really crucial shift in how we think about this. We so often put kindness and strength on opposite ends of the spectrum, but that is a huge mistake. Real, true kindness isn't about submission. It actually requires its very own kind of strength. Just let this idea really sink in for a moment. True kindness isn't about being a doormat for everyone to walk on. No way. It's strength wrapped in gentleness. I want you to picture like a warrior's shield, but instead of being cold, hard metal, it's covered in soft moss. It's protective and it is strong, but it's also gentle and alive. So, what's the actual solution here? Well, it is not about choosing to be either kind or strong. The real goal is to combine that warm heart with being what the source material calls tough-minded. It's all about blending that deep compassion with some serious self-respect. And let's be super clear about what tough-minded means here. This isn't about being cold or mean or aggressive, not at all. It's about knowing what you stand for, your values. It's about protecting your core, your center. And it's about being able to offer love and support without completely abandoning yourself in the process. Okay, so that's the big idea, but I know what you're thinking. How do we actually do this? How do we make it real? Well, let's break it down into 4 really practical steps you can take to reclaim yourself and put all this into action. So first, you have to know what you stand for. You've got to get crystal clear on your core values. Step 2 is about noticing, looking honestly at where you've kind of let other people take the wheel in your life. Then comes step 3, which is often the hardest part. You got to start reclaiming that control. And finally, the focus shifts away from what everyone else wants and onto what truly, deeply makes you come alive. And that final step, my friends, is the absolute game changer. This whole thing isn't just about protecting yourself or setting boundaries for the sake of it. It's about discovering what makes you light up, finding a purpose that fuels you from the inside out. I mean, come on. This quote just says it all, right? Doesn't it? The world doesn't just need more exhausted, burned-out helpers. It needs people who are energized, who are joyful, and who are, like the quote says, on fire with life. That kind of energy, that passion, that's what really makes a difference. And this is how we find that fire. A calling isn't just one thing. It's that magical intersection, that sweet spot where your unique talents and gifts meet a real, genuine need out there in the world. It's not one or the other. Your true purpose is right there where those two circles overlap. So I'm going to leave you with this one last thing to really think about. When you help, when you serve others, are you slowly disappearing into that service? Or are you bringing your whole vibrant, energized self to the table? Because that is the difference between simply helping and truly, magnificently coming alive.